Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most magnificent. So today we will discuss about how to write a research paper, what in actual research paper is, and what is the importance of research paper, and how to write a research paper. Art of writing. Writing is in actual an art, not a science, and it's a God giving talent. You can earn it with your hard work. Writing is nature's way of letting you know how sloppy your things is. So global view of publication in science and engineering. First, we will have a look on that. There is approximately 35,000 journals published regularly annually, in which 22,000 of them are ISI or Scopus abstracted journals. So ISI and Scopus are the two biggest companies, or you can say institutions, that acknowledge or endorsing the importance of research and give worth to the journals. Total number of papers published annually nowadays exceed from 2.5 to 3 millions. 30 lakh paper annually. So you can calculate how many paper published daily. And 50% of the papers never even get a citation, or sometimes people even don't open it or study it. So your writing should be very important about that, so people have to read your work and give attention on that. So international research publication facts and figures, we have article published from 1665 to 2012. It's almost 53 million articles. Those are free or paid, available on Scopus, ISI, Web of Science, PubMed Central, or Google Scholars. PubMed Central holds almost 2.2 million of articles and has a collection of over 20 million citations about that. Similarly, in Cyverse, Scopus holds over 43 million of records. It includes 18,000 peer-reviewed journals, including 1,800 open access journals and 700 trade publications and almost 400 book series. So this bulk amount of data we already have in the databases. ISI Web of Knowledge claims to hold over 40 million items and 7,387 science and engineering journals and almost 2,257 social sciences journals. Google Scholar has almost to taken over the world bibliometry. So this bulk amount of journals, data, articles, citations, abstracts we already have. The people have this data. So you should be very careful about your writing in that. So number of journals published in Thomas and Reuters Web of Science Master Journal list. So we will have just a look to some of them, like Art and Humanities Citation Index. We have almost 1632 journals. For biochemistry and biophysics, we have 473. Life sciences, we have 1408, and so on. Science Citation Index 3786, 23,000 academic and science journals we have. For immunology, we have 93, geology 17, mathematics 97, molecular biology 206, and the number varies down. Depends on the specific field of science. So over 50% of research papers receive even no citation and no reads. 90% readers glance through the content list only. They just have a look to that. Only 5% open the journals to review through the titles. Less than 2% scientists read the abstract and introduction. Less than 1% read rest of the paper. So now you can imagine where we are standing. Only less than 1% people just read the whole paper. If your writing will be good, if your writing will be interesting, then the person will read your paper. Otherwise, no one will read your complete article. What are high impact factor journals? Impact factor of journals is the frequency of its citation. That depends that how many times a research article from a journal cites. High impact factor journals are the one which have high frequency of citation by others. It is a superficial but internationally accepted measures of quality of journals. A good high impact factor may journal may publish a paper which have low to zero citation. So no matter how, if a journal has so many citations, the impact factor will automatically be very high. And the high impact factor journal is considered as the good journals. So how we calculate the impact factor and what the impact factor is in actual? The impact factor reflecting the average number of citation of an article in a journal appears in a journal citation report, also known as JCR, SCI, Science Citation Index. Journals with high impact factors considered to be the more scientifically important and more prestigious journals. How we usually calculate the impact factor? The impact factor of a journal specifically calculates through the citations the journal in actual articles or have in the current year published in last 2 years divided by the articles published in last 2 years. Suppose if we just want to calculate the impact factor of 2020 for a journal ABC, we will check the citations in 2020 to articles published in 2019 and 18 divided by the articles published in 2019 and 2018. How many articles we publish? Suppose in 2019 and 2018 a journal published 10 articles. Suppose how many citations we have in 2020 for those articles that published in 2019 and 18 in 10 articles published in 2 years, and we have 20 citations. Suppose so 20 divided by 10, so impact factor of that journal will be 2. So journal impact factor for 2000, sorry, here we have 2020, not 2009. Here we have 2020. Okay. So impact factor, journal impact factor for 2020, Nature 42.778, Science 41.845, Lancet 60.292. So these are considered the most prestigious and the biggest flagships journal in science. Nature, Science, Lancet, and also one more Cell. So what is H index? H index or in actual it measures both the productivity and impact of the published work of a specific researcher. Usually you have if you have a look to the Google Scholar, on the left side there is H index and I10 index, so that in actual explain what the productivity level of that specific researcher. The index is based on the set of scientists most cited papers and the number of citations. The index can also be applied to the productivity and impact of the group of scientists, such as department, university, country, or specific domain he or she has. The H index is based on a list of publications ranked in descending order by the times cited. The value of H is equal to the number of papers in the list that have n or more citations. So here we have a specific graph that will explain the number of papers and citations are equally proportional for calculating the H index. Suppose a person has 20 articles, a researcher has 20 research papers, and top 5 research paper has 5 citations. Suppose top 5 papers has 5 citations, then the H index will be 5. So each paper should be suppose if its top 10 papers has 10 citation, then the H index should be 10. So publishing in high impact factor journal, it's idea what matters, not the copy paste. So your idea always matters. But here we have a funny example that high impact factor journal, when Newton just uh, see that an apple is going down and he just write a law of gravity. However, a person ABC is sitting down and orange is going down and he is just saying oranges also follow the law of gravity. So it is low impact factor journal because in actual orange is going to copy the apple. What why it is important to publish in high impact factor journals? We publish to get more funds, to show our research to others, greater visibility of research findings, increased chances of citations, greater recognition among peers and your senior colleagues, associated benefits such as promotions, productivity allowance, etc. Which manuscripts are published in high impact factor journals? It's most important point that which type of manuscripts will just hit the high journals. So your work of established scientists usually go because they have established labs and they have everything established, so they just grab a good data. Results of general interest, novelty of findings, concise and well written. Attributes of a good manuscript: concise but powerful, story like that if someone just study it, read it, he or she enjoys the writing. The results are to the point. There is no grammatical and linguistic errors, and recognizing the contribution of others. If someone helps you, you are going to acknowledge him or her, and there is no technical errors in the article. For good research to good writing: quality in state of mind. Good science leads to great findings. Great findings needs to be reported in the best possible way to the world. Why publishing research articles is important? Ideally it is to communicate that what you earn, what you observe, what you achieve with your with your results, with your discovery, and you want to show it to others, to your colleagues, your senior colleagues, other scientific community. And if you are working on a specific topic that is for social reforms, then you are making a good contribution for the society. And most oftenly it is to advance the specific domain or field, or to grab good funding and grants for more research work. And if you are interested in research work, then you need money to perform your experiments and to get the tenure track positions to improve the scientific impact of your country. So all these points just gather for publishing in a good journals. When to publish or not to publish: when you think that the quality of your study is at scientific level, is a good level, and you can publish it for the social reforms, and there will be the results are error free, and you have a good finding, and you just analyze that specific topic very keenly, and a layman can understand it very well, and then you need to publish it. Otherwise you have to hold your data and improve it. Need to write a research paper in college or university. You have to write a research paper for to get your degree, like your PhD degree, your doctorate degree. Or you, if you just complete a project, you have to publish it for others, or for the report you have to submit to the funding agency, and you have to summarize your research work into research paper to publish it. Deciding the journal for publishing: first of all, people try to just hit the big journals, but you know what your research paper lying on, where your research paper is standing. And if you have time, then you can hit a big journal, then take a comments and solve it and improve your article. Otherwise you just decide a target journal before writing, and just do all the experiments according to that specific journal. Prefer those journals which publish similar work, or you are going to study those papers already, similar works in those journals, just hit those journals. If you think that your competitor is ahead of you, so for second tier rapid republication journal, because it is an important to the first one. So points to be considered for before publishing: first of all, you need to target the audience, that which scientific community is going to read your article, and which journal you are going to hit. Is this journal is good or not? Is this journal is sound or not? And is this journal has open access, or you have to pay for that? Is this journal has a high impact factor, ISI, JCR? So these types of points you have to uh, mm, keep in mind before considering a specific journal. So how important citations are: here we have an example that I published a couple of years ago in a crap journal and nobody is citing me. This person is saying, then this person is saying that he published in good one, this published in much good one, and he published in the best one and got so many citations. So if your work is published in a good journal, then you will get the big citation. What is the peer review process? In the peer review process, you just submit your article to a journal, and then journal give forward your article to the experts of the field, and the expert of the field just have a critical eye on that and check all the technical points, writing points, the idea, everything very keenly. So here we have a funny example that when this is a guy who has a research paper and he just want to cross this road and just accept the paper here, and the peer reviewers are standing here to damage, or you can say give advices to to the article. So it is very hard usually to grab a good research paper by peer review process. So criteria of a good research publication: your idea should be novel, quality of the science or the research work you perform is accurate and up to the mark. You just efficiently present all the results and publish your article in a good research paper. And remember, a good article is one that is read by others and cited by others. So types of scientific writings, we usually have research articles. We have also known as research papers, review articles, research reports, research projects for funding, patents, thesis, dissertations of thesis. So in what is research articles? Research articles in actual a report on a research finding that ultimately have a product of that intellectual pursuit you are going to you perform. Then it has some valid results that specifically depict something, and the results are known, not reported earlier. There is no plagiarism, and you can understand, or the audience who are going to read can understand the new facts about that. So all these points you have to include in a research paper. So kinds of a research paper: we have letters, articles, communications, research notes, and supplemental articles. Writing is a critical step in science, although scientists are not trained to write. But if when a scientist just writes so many articles, he or she trained himself for writing. Even very creative experiments and novel results will have dull impact if the manuscript is not written well. So you have to be expert in writing also. So, what are the keys to write, or to improve the writing skills? The path to writing well is to read excellent writers and read and write and write and write. So your literature, in actual literature, is a door for new opportunities. And if you have a good literature, you will have the good vocabulary. So you have to read again and again a good research papers for your writing skills. Free write your thoughts. Don't worry about your structure initially, just write it. After that, improve it. Use the best paper in your field as a template and try to convert your free write up into a format. Keep writing concise, dynamic, and simple in construction. Convey enthusiasm in your writing so it attracts the audience. When to write a draft of a manuscript: when you think that you have all the results, you prepare all the figures and tables, and then you have to summarize all the experiments. So, second best practice: write the first draft at a meeting where work is first presented. The experiment will be fresh in mind, and free time in the evening may be sufficient to write a draft. Alternatively, the script of the seminar can often be used as a starting draft. The worst practice to write a paper: then when you just complete everything and then you just going to write, sometimes you forgot many points. Divide and conquer. This rule you have to apply, like divide the work and then perform it. Eat an elephant bit by bit. You cannot eat an elephant completely at once. So if you are going to eat an elephant slowly, you can eat it the whole complete elephant. If you get stuck on a particular section, just skip to a different section that is easiest to write. It means the easiest portion the first one, and the most difficult portion will be the last one. Four questions of manuscript writing: what is the when you are going to write about a disease, so what it actual that disease is, your that is your introduction portion. What did you do? how you try to diagnose or to cure that disease, that will be your methods. What you find will be your results, and what your results is depicting is an actual your discussion. So discussion in actual is the soul of the article, so you should be very focused on the discussion of the article. Research paper writing, usually we should be very careful about assignment clarification, time management, topic selection, topic brainstorm, library visit, locate, select sources from where you just want to take the data, survey sources, topic focus, read articles, read articles, read articles. Literature is very important. Preliminary thesis, outline, draft paper, revise paper, and source of help. So steps of writing a research paper: first you should have a topic state title or topic should be very attractive, so a person just read the topic, he or she should have the thirst to read the whole article. Then you have a problem statement. The problem statement will give the exact view that why you are going to solve this query. Then you have to give the outline, select and analyze source and selecting websites, compiling information on index cards or on Microsoft Word, plagiarizing, paragraphing, paraphrasing, and direct quoting. Please avoid that. Just give the referencing properly and proofread again and again to lower down all the problems. So sometimes people just become very confused. So where we have to begin? The more you think, the more you will confuse. So you just have to think properly and you have to start it. So writing a research paper, first you have to choose a topic, then you have to narrow down the topic, and you have to write a problem statement, and you have to write the outlines that which experiments and or which specific work you are going to do on that specific topic. So choosing a topic in actual a hard task. When you choose the topic, narrow down the topic, almost you perform 20 or 30% of your work. So first of all, you have to start with the research expertise you have. You have to gather your expertise, and then you have to hit the topic and then narrow down the topic. Choose a topic that will allow you to contribute to the scientific field or domain, and you have to take the topic that in domain, from the domain that you have the expertise in that specific domain, so you have to select that specific topic. So what are the different parts of manuscript? First you have title, abstract, introduction, methods, results, discussion, acknowledgement, references. So, and sometimes we have title and keywords and other some types. So title is the main focus. Your title should be very attractive, and your title should be concise, that describes what you in actual perform in that specific article, and the content should be explained well in the title. Attractive and catchy title makes reader going through the article for sure. And graphical abstracts, these types of articles or these types of titles usually just grab the audience to read it, read the article of, completely. The impact of article titles on citation hits: most published articles are not cited. The title play a vital role. Construction of an article title has a significant impact on citation frequency. By a study conducted by Thomas S. Jackas and Nile, there was a strong association between increasing title length and citation rate. So the impact of article titles on citation hits, usually electronic searches, when you are just on a Google or on Web Science, on Web of Science, on Google Scholar, on PubMed or any other search engine, you just write some keywords, and that keywords, the search engine just check that keywords to the title, and if the title has that keywords, the search engine will give you that article and you are going to read that. If your article is concise, that explain all about the article, then the keyword will appear in that title and you will get that article. So your title is most important about for your article for the first step. Then you have the abstract. uh, Abstract is the information or the story or the complete summary, you can say, of the article. So the only chance you have to get the reader attention is that usually after article the researcher just read the abstract, and when they just find the abstract interesting, then they read the other parts of the article. So you have to give a brief conclusion, results, methods and introduction in 200 to 250 words, so a person can grab your attention for reading the whole article. Yes, there are two types of article abstract, that is structured abstract and unstructured abstract. In structured abstract, introduction, material, methodology, results and discussion has separate portions, separate headings. However, in unstructured, in a paragraph you just summarize all of the data. So introduction, meta, results and discussion similarly. So after that we have introduction section. Very less people just read the complete introduction. Usually the researcher just jump to the problem statement, that is usually into the last paragraph of the introduction, and just try to grab what in actual a person want to explain. So two or less than 2% readers actually cite your article, and among these 2%, less than 2%, approximately 98% reader just read the introduction section from the problem statement or the patches he or she wants. Brief background information of the current study will be there. It should not be so long that a person become bored, or it should explain the key facts about that are already presented by the other researchers. So introduction, ask question to yourself that why should anyone read your paper among us the thousands of papers appearing this month about for that specific topic. So you should have to capture the interest of the audience, that why they are going to read your article through your introduction. In material methodology you have to explain everything. You have to explain the 5 W's, that who is going to do that experiment, how to do this experiment, where to do this experiment, why to do this experiment, which approaches you are going to do, and if you are going to use animals, which animals you are going to use, if you are going to use humans, which type of human cell lines you are going to use. So you have to explain everything in your materials and methodology, that which material you used and which methodology you are going to follow. So you are not expected to do it. No, no, no. If you make the paper too easy to read, everyone will know how you got the results. So it's also a funny quote here, that sometimes people just write it in a very hard way that a layman cannot understand. So in results, you have to describe everything you got with honesty. You have to give the tables and figures. You have to give the all the figures or all the tables or all the information, all the results, all the findings in that section, and honestly. Don't repeat information again and again in the tables and figures. Just give the necessary information in the result section, and if you have so many results, then you have to select that which results you are going to present in the supplementary files. So after that we are on discussion. That's the last writing portion of the article, and it is in actual the soul of an article, and it is very hard to write, but it is also very important to write. So you have to be very careful about the discussion section, as you have to describe the concise summary, what your results are depicting, what your results are in actual for, and you have to answer all the questions you just placed in your problem statement. What is new without exaggerating the facts and figures, conclusions, summary, perspectives, implications, research limitations and need for future research, theoretical implications and possible practical applications. You have to explain all of those in the discussion section. Then you have a conclusion. In conclusion, conclusions are usually of 4 to 5 lines, and you have to conclude everything what you get with your experiments, with your introduction, with your problem statement. So everything you have to conclude in 3 to 4 lines. Then you have to give the references. References should be cited according to the author guideline of that specific journal, and there should be no mistake in referencing. Acknowledgement is also very important part. Usually people think that it's not much important. You have to acknowledge the funding agency, the colleagues, the supervisor, the teacher who helped you. You have to acknowledge because it's very important. Final step is revision and proofreading. You have to check it again and again, again and again, again and again, to lower down all the grammatical mistakes, all the linguistic mistakes. Usually people just write it and submit it, the assignments, the papers, the term paper, the research paper. You have to at least read it 3 times, minimum 3 times, or share with your colleague to read it for you. So there should be no spelling mistake, there should be no grammatical mistake, there should be no linguistic mistake, there should be no formatting mistakes. So you have to do revision again and again, again and again, to lower down all the mistakes. So revision and proofreading, effectiveness of the study support depends on the proofreading and revision. To lower down all the errors, must be error free. It must be error free on your side. So revision and proofreading, all authors should participate. Like you, if you have 4 or 5 authors, everyone has to read it again and again to lower down all the grammatical mistakes, vocabulary mistakes, punctuation mistakes, typos and references, everything. So proofread, are all words spelled correctly? Did I capitalize the beginning of each sentence and all proper nouns? Did I punctuate correctly? Did I use grammar correctly? So you have to check all these points one by one to lower down all the errors or grammatical mistakes if those are in your article. These are the common mistakes we usually have, so you have to check it again and again to avoid all these. Like if you are going to use a considerable amount of words, so much is much preferable of word for that. If you are going to, it is clear, that you can use clearly. Refer to as, no, you can use the word called. So when you read so many articles, you have so much vocabulary to improve your writing. So responsibilities of authors from preparation of manuscript to submission. The article and the idea should be novel, and manuscript have been checked all the listed authors by the listed authors, and there should be no grammatical mistakes, proper affiliations, acknowledgments, referencing, everything should be complete. So criteria for acceptance, your idea should be novel. It's very much important for the acceptance of a good article. Your idea should be very novel, and the results are sound. You are going to contribute with your scientific community. You have something to show to the society. Your research data represents good results, you just explain it in a good way. So all these points you should focus for if you want to that your article should accept. So major reason for rejection, usually we have poor experimental design, poor write up, so many mistakes, and not we are not going to target a suitable journal. Our study don't have any novel idea, so these points will lead the article to the rejection. Process of research and its publication. First we complete the research, then we prepare a manuscript, submit a manuscript. The manuscript just move to the peer reviewers. Peer reviewers sometimes give rejection, then you again on the first steps, and if the decision is on revision, then you have to submit the revisions. And if rejection, again on the first step, otherwise you will accept it and publish the article. The most important factors that influence whether your manuscript will be considered for publication are the title, abstract, cover letter, and your reputation based on your previous work. Ethics in scientific writing. It's very important. Be factual, be honorable, be legal, be truthful, be objectives, and be accurate. Don't deceive, don't plagiarize, don't falsify, don't fabricate. So be honest in scientific writing, because maybe many researchers are depending on your writing. So be honest, don't plagiarize, don't falsify, don't fabricate the data, don't cook the data. If you don't have the data, don't publish it. Authorship issues also a big issue in ethics, like sometimes someone didn't work but he or she has the name in the article, so avoid these types of activities. Inform the consent. If you are just going to take blood from any patient, tell him about the truth. And if you just take money from any funding agency, you have to acknowledge it in your article. If someone helps you, just include his or her name. Don't deceive others. Avoid fragmentary or duplicated publications. So ethics in scientific writing depends on falsification and data alteration. Plagiarism is the most important point. So here we have another cartoon here. Welcome to the co-authors party. You are number 21. So if you are three or four people just write an article, but the whole friend list is in the author list, it's not good. So the person who just contribute, you just need to contribute, add his or her name. Don't try to add everyone's name in your article. This practice is very common nowadays. Please discourage it. Plagiarism, international use of another person work with reference to your name without proper citation of the original source is known as plagiarism. So different softwares are available that can check it and mark it as a plagiar. So be careful, don't duplicate the manuscripts, and try to cite all the data you take. Other forms of scientific writing, we have thesis, patent, book, chapter, technical research reports, and grant proposal and research proposal. So you should also have a note taking handout. As we go through the assignment, take notes or write down any question you have, a sample outline. So example of plagiarism versus paraphrasing, like a plagiarizer just, I have just stolen other author's work. Don't just stole the other author's work, just write your own work. Think by yourself. Don't falsify, don't plagiarize the data, don't fabricate the data. Here we have some overview, and the most important point, again and again and again, be focused. Don't plagiarize, don't copy from others. Just read it, understand it, and develop your own thinking. Write your own words, increase your vocabulary, improve your writing skills. The act of representing another's work or idea as your own is plagiarism. So don't do this. Plagiarism and paraphrasing, similarly, we have an example that someone just read the first one and just write it by their own words. So it's better to cite properly. You did it. So you have to be very careful. You have to struggle hard to write a paper, to perform experiments, and to publish it. I hope you will get much basic information from this lecture, that what in actual this game is, what research article game is in actual, from where we can publish, how we can publish, why we have to publish, how to write it, what is the different types of articles. So I try to summarize all for you. If anyone has any question, please ask. Thank you so much everyone for joining.